That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, this is not going to be a fun video to make. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the wide receivers that you need to be just flat out cutting off your rosters if you're trying to make space for free agents for you to pick up after the season is over. I mean, these are guys that I thought had some promise coming into the NFL that at this point, really, I don't see it working out, as well as guys who just at this point, I think there's no late career resurgence that we have coming forward. I mean, really, it's time to cut bait. It sucks to say, it sucks to talk about. Now, obviously, if you don't have a player worth picking up, feel free to keep these options on your roster. But if you're looking to make space, I think that these are guys that we can consider cutting. Okay, so our first player that we're going to talk about is someone that I was very excited about as a buy low player this past offseason. Did not like him in rookie drafts, but Andy Isabella. Okay, so if you don't know who Andy Isabella is, he was a wide receiver selected in the second round of the 2019 NFL draft class by the Arizona Cardinals. I was very excited about Isabella because he was stepping into an offense that at this point only had Christian Kirk and Larry Fitzgerald. And obviously, we're not expecting Larry Fitzgerald to be there forever. So we were seeing that the future of Arizona was going to be Kyler Murray, Christian Kirk, and Andy Isabella, and that was exciting. Now, I did not believe in the wide receiver coming into the NFL. I thought that he was going to be used as a little bit more of a speedster rather than someone seeing a significant amount of targets. So I did not buy into him. I did not draft him in initial rookie drafts. But as soon as he had that disappointing rookie season, we looked at the age-adjusted production from his college career. We looked at his athletic profile and said, you know what? Maybe there's something here. And we went out there and bought him on the low. Well, that looks like it was just a massive mistake because since then, Arizona Cardinals have decided to go out there, trade for DeAndre Hopkins. And in 2020, it's fine. I mean, holding through Andy Isabella, expecting that we are going to have Larry Fitzgerald gone in 2021. And then at that time, we could see Isabella being an impact player for the Arizona Cardinals, with DeAndre Hopkins being the X, with Christian Kirk being the slot guy, and Andy Isabella being the field stretcher. And obviously, that's not a role on this offense that we are getting extremely excited about. But if Kyler Murray elevated the Arizona Cardinals offense to something that we wanted to get a part of, we could have easily seen him being a Michael Gallup type player whenever the Dallas Cowboys had Dak Prescott good and healthy. But here, what was very demoralizing about anybody holding Andy Isabella is we saw multiple games this season where Larry Fitzgerald was out and Isabella tried to slot into that role and he just completely failed. I mean, he was not able to separate. He was not able to accrue targets. And the very few targets that he got, I mean, he looked like nothing of an NFL wide receiver. I mean, it was a major problem as well of him coming into the NFL with the way that he caught the football. He was way more of a body catcher rather than someone that was going to extend their body and catch it with their hands. So even if Andy Isabella is able to somehow go out there, turn his career around, get that field stretching role on the Arizona Cardinals, and then learn to be able to create separation and maybe be able to get about 4 targets a game from Kyler Murray in that field stretching role, then we have to worry about his ability to come down with those catches. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury has shown no confidence in Andy Isabella up to this point in his NFL career, and I think it's time for us to just say goodbye. All right, so now our next wide receiver, very similar to Andy Isabella. I did not like him in rookie drafts in 2019, but he was selected in the second round by the Philadelphia Eagles in Arcega Whiteside. Now, just as similar with Andy Isabella, as everybody had given up on Arcega Whiteside after his rookie season, I went out there and I bought him on the low. I acquired him as a throw-in with deals. But I mean, another very disappointing season from J-Jaw. And the problem here with Arcega Whiteside is it's not like he's parked behind some superb talent at the wide receiver position. No, I mean, at this point of his NFL career, he has failed time and time again to see the field whenever this offense has seen injuries to Jalen Reagor, Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert. I mean, pretty much everybody in this offense in his second year was down, and JJ Arcega Whiteside, instead of stepping into a new role, instead of him actually seeing snaps for this offense, they still thought it was a good idea to keep him on the bench. I mean, how bad was JJ Arcega Whiteside coming out of Stanford? I really don't understand it. Maybe we just got a little bit too excited about the big frame and the touchdown potential, because right now it looks like JJ Arcega Whiteside could possibly just be flat out cut off this Philadelphia Eagles roster if they're able to bring in some talent in 2021. Because what are they expecting at this point if he can't beat out Travis Fulgham, if he can't even play alongside Travis Fulgham to get targets? Okay, so now our next wide receiver, someone that you cannot cut off your roster, but someone that I think that his outlook is abysmal, is also someone that I hated going into the draft, and I did not actually buy this player low this past offseason, and this is Nkeal Harry. Okay, with Nkeal Harry, obviously a ton of people were excited about him coming out of Arizona State, and what's more surprising to me is the fact that in 2018, Nkeal Harry was able to keep a player like Brandon Ayuk just tucked away. I mean, I would have assumed, if you look at their NFL usage so far, as well as their NFL production, that Brandon Ayuk would have severely outproduced Nkeal Harry at Arizona State. That did not happen. I mean, Nkeal Harry had a decent profile being selected in the first round by the New England Patriots in the 2019 NFL draft. But I mean, just like these other players we've talked about, it's not like he is parked behind superb talent and has been waiting for his opportunity. No, he's had a chance to get into this offense. He's had a chance. He's played snaps. And really, just nothing has come together for him. It sucks to say. I mean, even the production that he has had has come on routes that are really just uninspiring, where he's running pretty much a hitch route and then just catches it, falls down. I mean, Nkeal Harry looks like he just may not be a thing at the NFL level. Okay, so now our next wide receiver that we're going to talk about is someone on that same team, Julian Edelman. Now, obviously, this is going to be a completely different scenario with Julian Edelman, Hall of Fame player. I mean, hell of a career. I mean, but here, what are we talking about with Edelman? I mean, so bad in 2020. Even when he was healthy, he just could get nothing going with Cam Newton. And then outside of that, just not being able to come back from an injury where he was labeled week to week, where he was supposed to be on the short-term IR and really had no chance to ever come back. This is with his age. I mean, it was not surprising with the fall off with Julian Edelman from Tom Brady and Cam Newton, but it's kind of funny because Edelman had his career high in receiving yards in a game this season. So you would kind of assume, based on that one stat, that 2020 wasn't a complete waste for him. But yet it was, with Julian Edelman, a player that had a hell of a career, but it's time to cut him off of our fantasy rosters. Now, our next wide receiver is someone that I know a lot of people were excited about in the metrics community coming into the NFL draft a few years ago, Justin Watson. Okay, with Justin Watson, the problem, in my opinion, is the Scotty Miller breakout. I mean, seeing Scotty Miller be the wide receiver that's filling in for an injured Chris Godwin, seeing Scotty Miller be the wide receiver that's getting usage in running routes, even when we have Godwin, Antonio Brown, and Mike Evans all healthy, kind of kills any expectations that you would have from Justin Watson. It's not like we were expecting this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense to be some superb offense after Tom Brady leaves anyway. I mean, who knows what they're going to be doing at the quarterback position, but they'll still have Chris Godwin. They'll still have Mike Evans, and now they'll also have Scotty Miller parked ahead of Justin Watson. So here is an intriguing wide receiver coming into the NFL draft, but at this point of his NFL career, I think the path for him to see any type of production is almost non-existent. Okay, so now our next wide receiver, very similar to Julian Edelman. I mean, had a hell of a career, but Golden Tate. Okay, with Golden Tate, I mean, I think that he is toast. I think that it is time. His career is pretty much over. Now, obviously, I'm going to be expecting him to have a decent role on whatever NFL offense he should be playing on in 2021. But that decent role should be looking like something as 35 to 45% of the team snaps every single game. And if we're looking at that type of usage, there's really no ceiling. So yeah, if you play in a best ball league or if you play in a very deep league, Golden Tate is going to be someone that you're holding on to. But if we're looking at rostering someone like Golden Tate or AJ Dillon, I mean, obviously, we're going to be going with A.J. Dillon. Just with Golden Tate, I don't see the path to upside. I would honestly probably rather have someone like a Bryce Love or a Jalen Hurd, who's been injured their entire NFL career up until this point, and we really haven't had the chance to see what we've had out of them. I'd rather take that unknown rather than Golden Tate's very limited upside going forward. I think that he may be just a dead roster spot. Okay, so now our last wide receiver that we're going to talk about is someone, for whatever reason, a ton of people in Dynasty have liked Josh Reynolds. Okay, Josh Reynolds coming into the 2017 NFL draft class. A ton of people that were in the metric community fell in love with him. I didn't understand it, especially with the landing spot for the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, with both Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp signing extensions, that is one thing. But on top of that, with this team deciding to go out there and select a wide receiver in the second round of the NFL draft, that shows us that they pretty much have no allegiance to Josh Reynolds. Whenever he has had the opportunity in LA, he's never lived up to the expectations that Dynasty players have given to him. So another wide receiver where, yeah, I mean, if you're not going to be actively trying to pick someone up, if you're not getting someone that you think has some upside, maybe someone like an Anthony McFarland, then yeah, just keep Josh Reynolds on your roster. But if you want someone that's that deep stash and you're looking at Josh Reynolds, tell me what the path to upside is. I mean, is he supposed to find that production on his second NFL team? I mean, I think that is hard to believe with the lack of production in what was a very good offense a few years ago in the Los Angeles Rams. All right. Now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. As always, if y'all did, go down there, drop that like, leave that comment, subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps us out. And yeah, that's all I got. Really hope I'll see y'all with the video tomorrow.